What's going on, guys? Welcome back to a brand new video. We are here on iRacing back again in the GT3 as we're going to be doing a daily race around Silverstone. So this was actually a VRS sprint race that we had last week, and this was actually a really good race in my opinion, but it was also a very important race to me just due to the fact that after this race we were able to gain our I rating all the way past 2500. And that was a really big achievement of mine and a big goal that I wanted to set here. So I was very happy that I was able to do that on this race. But it wasn't easy, not at all. As you can see, we put in a 159.2 around here. Now, in my opinion, that was my probably my quickest lap that I've been able to put around this track. But unfortunately, it wasn't even good enough to get us into the top 15. As we jump into the grid here, it was only good enough to put us in, I believe, was 19th position. Yeah, you can see right there, we are starting in 19th position. So you can see we are racing against some aliens on this lobby. So we'll see how we do here now as we wait for the green lights. And there we go, away we go down into the final corner here. It's a very chaotic start. There's a lot of drivers just going all over the place going into the first corner here. So looking for our braking point, making sure that we make contact with the Audi up ahead. We get through it nice and easy, navigate our way safely without making any contact. But unfortunately, heading into farm here, a couple cars get taken out right ahead of us. And you can see on the bottom that a couple people are not happy due to the fact that they just got taken out on this 40-minute race right on lap 1. And I'm glad that we weren't involved in that, and we were able to just get around it without any incident. So sneaking our way onto the inside here as we head into the first time to left field. We go onto the inside of the Audi and brake as little as we can, just get the overtake done, and the Audi gives us plenty of space so that we are able to navigate our way through it safely. So working our way now a little more further into lap number 1. We get stuck behind the Ferrari and the Mercedes going into Stowe for the first time as the Ferrari gets a really bad case of oversteer midway through the corner. Take a little peek onto the inside, try to capitalize on that mistake that he did heading into Stowe, but we had to switch off into the outside, try to keep it there, and it was now a side-by-side battle that we had going on with the Ferraris. We now head into lap number 2. So off of the final corner, the Ferrari gets a really great run on the outside. We have to give him the position because we just lost a ton of grip. And he just gets right ahead of us, starts pulling away just a bit, but as we head into the second braking zone here, we're able to catch up to him, and a little bit more further into the lap actually, we were able to gain on him once again as we head into Maggots and Beckett's, and we just stay right here following him, make sure that he doesn't get too far away from us, and as we come out of the corner, we are going to use the slipstream, maximize our top end speed, as we get a really great run down onto Stowe once again. Heading into the inside, side by side, we try to outbrake the Ferrari, and we were able to do so as we sweep it all the way to the left-hand side. We're going to cover the inside to make sure that he doesn't try to go for an overtake, but as we go into the corner, 2 cars up ahead make contact, and the Audi gets turned. Really messed up a lot of things right there as I got a little bit worried heading into the corner. I didn't know if they were going to head back onto the track or what was going on. Just saw smoke, and luckily we got through it without any incidents, and I think the Ferrari backed out there too because he got a little bit alarmed by what was going on ahead, and we navigate our way through there and gain 2 positions just by staying on the track. So up all the way into 11th place. This is actually a really great opening set of laps because again, we started off in 19th position and working our way up into 11th. That's almost halfway through the field, and I can't be more happier than that. But as we head back into left field here, we get a sneaky charging Ferrari as he attempts to go into the inside. Side by side can be very treacherous going into this corner, especially just due to the fact that you can gain a lot of oversteer, lose the back end, and you can accidentally hit the car on the outside. But luckily the Ferrari was holding his ground and was doing some very fine piece of driving here as we're still side by side heading down the old straight. But as we head into the right corner where Lewis Hamilton and Verstappen made contact, we were able to just outbrake the Ferrari, just etch him out, and although we do get an off track there on the exit, we were able to complete the overtake and kind of pull away from him now. So a little more forward into the race. It's now lap number 5, and we have been getting caught by this Lamborghini right behind us. As he was able to get around the Ferrari, and he was now on the charge to try to get us, so we were next on his list. And I kind of caught attention to that, just saw him gaining a lot of time on us and seeing that he had a lot quicker pace. So what I actually did right here is I didn't want to fight with him. I wanted to see where he was gaining on pace compared to us. So I stayed onto the outside, let him get the slip. He snuck into the inside. We let go of the throttle early so we can get right behind him. And at this point, this was the part where I just kind of wanted to learn from him and just see how he was so quick around here. And although we did have different cars, I was in the Audi, he was in the Lamborghini, I still can just see where he was gaining time, where he was losing time, and see where the braking points were at compared to him, and attempt to just mimic what he was doing, and maybe even just use him as a pick to try to pull us up to the cars up ahead, since he was a lot quicker than me and majority of the other cars up ahead. So to Megas and Beckett's, we were seeing that he was actually gaining a lot of time through this section right here, and also through the final section. He was just able to maximize his drive off of the corners, and that was one thing I noticed. But as we try to stay in the slip, he's breaking the toe here as we head down into Stowe once again, and as we work our way up even more further into the race here on lap 10, you see that he was able to extend his lead from us by about 0.7 of a second. So he just was able to pull away. We couldn't really keep up with him. I mean, I just didn't have the car control to keep up with him on the corners, especially on the exits. He was just able to gain so much grip and just get on the power a lot sooner than I was, and that was one thing that I started noticing. So I'm just gonna have to practice on that, and hopefully we can kind of mimic him in future races, and we can be quick like him. But anyways, as we jump into lap number 14, things were starting to get a little bit more complicated here, because this was a 40-minute race, and you can see on the bottom right that we only had 1 lap of fuel left. So pit stops were going to have to come into effect here. We were all the way up into P10, so someone had actually came into the pits right ahead of us, but this is going to be the treacherous part here. We had to get into the pits as quick as we can and make sure we don't make any mistakes, as that can definitely cost us on track position. So as we head into the pits, we actually brake a bit too early. I could have waited or brake a little bit later, and actually cost about half a second to a second. And then as we come into our pit stall, I actually went in there a bit too cautious as well, and that could have costed us, honestly, like an extra half a second and a second. So in total, due to this just being too cautious with the entrance and going into the pit stall, we actually lose about 1.5 seconds, 2 seconds on track pace. And you can see the Lamborghini right ahead of us, and as well as the Mercedes, were able to just pull away there. And this was the result due to us being too cautious. We actually lose a ton of time on those two, and not only that, we get overtaken by the orange Porsche right ahead of us, and that relegates us down into what I believe is going to be 11th place or 12th once this entire pit cycles through. So as we come out of the hairpin right there, leading our way down the straight, we stay right behind the Porsche. I was a little bit frustrated at myself for just going too cautiously into the pits and costing us about 2 seconds here, or 1.5 seconds. And now we just had to regain everything on the 2 up ahead. But not only that, we had to get around the Porsche. And this Porsche was no slouch. This Porsche was very, very quick. He was actually just working his way through the field. And it was going to be a lot to try to keep up with him and just try to overtake him. So as the pits now cycle through, it looks like we're going to actually come out in 13th place. So it wasn't actually 11th that we were coming out in. We actually was a lot worse than that. We actually lost 2 positions, as we now have another Porsche right ahead of us of Torben. And this is not looking good for us. So all the positions and all the times that we made up on these guys up ahead, basically lost it. And now we're stuck behind these 2. So it's going to be very, very dangerous, especially due to the fact that if we race very aggressive with them, it can easily lead to a mistake, and all the hard work that we did can just easily get erased just because we get involved in some contact with them. So We're just staying right behind the Porsche right now and just biding our time here. We still have about what I believe is I want to say like 5 laps left, because this was a time race. It's very difficult to know how many laps you have left. You just kind of have to go off a guess. But if I remember correctly, I think it reached all the way up to lap 20 or lap 21. So we've worked starting to run out of time here, as it is now lap 16. So only about 10 minutes left in this race. And as time was running out, our patience was starting to run out here as we come into Stowe. Unfortunately, the Porsche right ahead of us actually loses the back end, just goes in a bit too wide. Try to overcorrect it and loses the back end, goes wide, and we're able to just sneak it onto the inside, get the overtake done, and now we get placed up into what I believe is going to be 12th place, and now we have to just try to regain all the time lost that the Porsche was able to gain on us right ahead of us. But as we head back into left field here, we actually get greeted with some yellow flags. And I'm not sure exactly where the yellow flags were coming from, because it said that there was a car off to the right, but I didn't see the car at all. But you can see in the relative that the 8th place driver, or the 8th place car of Riza, was taken out. So I'm not sure where he went. Just went straight into a shadow run, it seemed like, because we didn't see him after that. But it gave us a free position, and we actually see Riza disconnect here as he gets out of the lobby. But we gain a free position. Now we are up into P11, as we now have a hungry Porsche right behind us trying to go for overtakes and just riding our rear here as we head into the first sector of the track. So coming into the hairpin, we defend the inside from the Porsche, and that was very, very treacherous, because we had to get on the power as best as we can, because if we just made any type of mistake, the Porsche was going to get a really great run on the exit and was going to be able to go onto the inside and go for the overtake. But luckily we got on the power and the car just stuck. Not sure if just due to the fact that I just got used to it or what, but we just somehow got onto the power. We were able to make a stick and pull away a little bit from the Porsche. But right ahead of us, there was some drama going on as the orange Porsche makes a beautiful overtake on the Mercedes on the outside. I have to say that was a really good overtake done right there, and the Mercedes had to relinquish the splotch, just back out of the move there, and they're still fighting now, as we only have about, I believe, 1 lap left in this race. So heading back into Stowe, we're keeping an eye on what's going on ahead of us, but we're also keeping an eye on the Porsche right behind us, as he was every single corner just getting close and close and close. So we just didn't want him to sneak it onto the inside on one of these braking zones and try to go for the overtake. So it's a very, very difficult situation here, because we want to get around the Mercedes. We caught up to these two up ahead, and I think I had a little bit more pace than the Mercedes. But on top of that, this Porsche right behind us is also very, very quick too. So it's kind of just keeping an eye on both things right here, and just keeping an eye, see where the Porsche is going to go as we defend the inside here into farm. And then as we come into the hairpin once again, we go immediately to the left hand side to defend our position. But as we come out of the corner, we actually get a really good run, and we're able to get back onto the power, stay right behind the Mercedes up ahead. The Porsche is still right behind us, as we just stay in the slipstream of the Mercedes, just making sure that we stay in the tow. Don't let the Porsche get any ideas here heading into what is going to be the final time down the old straight. So we come out of the right-hander, we stay right behind the Mercedes, and just use him as a little pick here, as we are going to stay in the slipstream. Heading down the old straight, we actually are able to pull away a little bit from the Porsche, so we are getting a really good tow here, and we're actually running a really, really quick lap here. It's actually on pace to become our fastest lap of the race. So we just have to make sure that we go through Maggots and Beckett's as best as we can, and maybe we can try to go for an overtake ending into Stowe on the Mercedes. But as we come out of Beckett's here, we go in just a bit too deep, and that kind of killed our exits. We almost go wide, almost go straight into the grass, and the Mercedes was able to get a really great run. And as we head down to Stowe, we stay right behind the Mercedes, just stay in the slipstream, brake as late as we can right after the 100-meter board, but it just looks like we're not going to be able to get anything accomplished here unless we go for a very, very last-minute munch going into the final couple corners here in Club. As we stay onto the inside, the Porsche tries to go onto the outside, but just couldn't make anything happen. We stay right behind the Mercedes, almost go over the sausage curb, so that could have been very, very bad for us. And as we cross the start finish line for this 40-minute race, we come home in P11 after starting off in P19, and that's all she wrote for this race. So again, this was a very, very important race to me because again, we were able to get past that 2500 iRating point. And not only that, it was a really good race. There was actually some really good racing that I had with some of the guys here. So really, really appreciate it that they were able to race hard and fair, but also clean. So really, really love these types of races. If you guys enjoyed the video, feel free to smash that like button, hit that subscribe button down below. Help us out in the YouTube algorithm. And if you want to catch me on the Discord, Twitches, or even on Instagram, you can find all those links in the description down below. And if you guys enjoyed the video, I really hope to catch you guys on the next one. Peace.